Okay, today we're going to talk about a big thing. Like it was a really big deal for me. It's long-term care. I guess that's kind of stupid. You already know what it is based on the subject. So long-term care haunted me for a while. The good news is everything I'm going to talk about today is one, clearly I'm going to be using it, but two, I saw it all play out because my wife's dad did the same solution. He didn't even realize it. It was kind of his wife planned this when before she died and kind of told him where to go and everything. And I was really skeptical at first, but I literally saw it play out over 15 years and work effectively. So it's what I'm planning on doing. No, it's again, you decide what you want. Okay, so what is it? Let's start by kicking off the video like I do all the time. This is Bolden. This is where I'm currently at now. I'm still a little skeptical of this number because there's a lot of vacation there too, but I'm still digging it. It doesn't prevent us from having a good conversation today. So that's where I'm at now. So let's talk about, I'm assuming, let's just jump into it. So the big problem you have with long-term care is, and we won't get into these statistics, is number one, the number of people that need it and the amount of time they need it for. It's like a crazy gamble, right? You put too much away and you don't use it. You you don't put enough away and you need it. It's very from what I could see, very single purpose. You can't really use it for one thing. You just buy it and that's it. It's a big expense. So my father-in-law used a facility called Cedar Crest, which is like 20 minutes from us. Really nice. My daughter actually works there too, in their restaurant. So he moved in there. I don't know the exact dates, but it was probably when he was like maybe 70-ish, like 70-ish. And basically what it is, and I'm going to show you in a minute, it's you can move in. There's probably a lower range limit. Let's just pick 55. I don't know what it is. I wouldn't move in that early anyway. It's like 55 and up. Obviously, no kids. But what's so cool about this place is that one, it's pretty big. One, it's in New Jersey. Two, it's a full facility. So when he first moved in for like 10, 15 years, he was fine. He had no need for any long-term care or anything. And so it's kind of pretty much like condo living for the most part, with a whole bunch of other seniors, obviously. It comes with as part of the plan, you get one meal a day. And that's awesome because at that age, you don't want to cook either, but just one. At any one of their restaurants, they have like two or three restaurants up there, I believe. So what's cool about it is you start there. Now it has a really big deposit. We'll get into in a minute, and I'll even show you the website. We'll go over the website. But it what happens is you're guaranteed for life. You'll never be kicked out of there. And so what happens is as you need more care, as you degrade and your amount of services upgrade that you need, you move to a different area in the complex. So if you're, and obviously this is the case, but I'm going to show you the monthly budget. If it's $100 a month, and then you have to go to, like, they have assisted care, full care, and some other care, whatever, like memory care, that different levels of care, is what they do is it's the same monthly price for it's the same monthly price for you. But what they do is they're increasing the monthly price, but they're taking it from your deposit. Okay. And it's a pretty substantial deposit. I'll show you what my plan is and how much I'm planning to deposit for. But they take it from your deposit. And when that money runs out, then you're good to go. Now, the first thing in your question, I mean, I'm from Jersey, I'm always questioning, it's like, yeah, but what are they doing with that money? Now what's cool, and I saw all this play out for real, is what's cool is they keep 10% of what you put in. So if I put in $100, they're keeping 90, but to use against, that upward care. But if you die, whatever's left, excuse me, 90% of whatever's left is distributed to the family and or to your spouse or whatever. If your spouse lives there, obviously it's not distributed to them because they're still living there. But and I saw it happen. My father-in-law died, and the money was distributed to our family once the place was rented. So I guess there's a small risk there, if the place eventually ends up not being rented, that they keep your money. But I'm sure there's something in there. So let's go over it real quick. Let's talk about it. I'll talk about some other benefits it provides too, but you're probably curious what the place is called. So it's called Cedar Crest, and it's just up the street from us, like, 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. And I know they have stuff other in other places. I actually think this is going to become a popular model, and it must be financially sustainable because they're doing really well. I guess what they do is they take that money and they put it into they must put it into some interest bearing, because you don't get any interest from it either. But they must put it into some interest bearing account or something where they can make money off of it. Okay, so let's talk about first what I would want, right? So this is kind of what my father-in-law had at this point. Oh, first, at what age? I'm planning on moving in around 77, which is the other really important thing. You can't wait till you're like 85 to move in. And a few of my friends are dealing with this now. And the problem is, if this isn't a decision you make as a retiree, the problem is by the time if you're losing your facilities, as in your facilities in your head, um, it's too late. You're not going to want to go. Like, nobody wants to go at this point. So you have to make this decision sooner than later, and not put this burden on your kids. Because I know parent kids now, they're obviously my age, where this whole thing is a disaster for them. So you have to make this for us. I've kind of made a decision somewhere around, I originally was like 75, 77, and then my wife flipped out and said, "Are you kidding me? I'm not going in there so early." Even though I mean, she knows exactly what it is because her father-in-law lived there. We used to visit him all the time. So I'm right now, it's going to be when I'm around 78, I think is when I have the plan, 77, and she's around 79 or 80, something like that. So you'll see, just looking at this, and this is exactly what they look like. This is a one bedroom, a little kitchen. I think this is almost like the father-in-law's. And I have a den. That way we have somewhere to go to get away from each other. So this is the layout. You got a bathroom here, the walk-in closet, the bedroom, the living area and the dining area, all right there, a den and a kitchen. So let's talk about the deposit. So if you look at this right away, first of all, the deposit on this is 337,000, and this is kind of a killer for me with Bolden, because I could go into Right Capital and tell you exactly how much they would inflation this to. It's not quite so clear at Bolden, but we'll get into how I put this into Bolden in a minute. So it's a big deposit, but the cool thing about this deposit is, to me, it's solving two problems simultaneously. One, it's giving you a form of life insurance, right? Which is exactly what happened. Best dad died and we got that money. Two, it's serving as a long-term care insurance plan. It's actually three purposes. It's serving as a long-term care insurance plan, meaning that they promise when you get in here, they'll never kick you out. They will draw from that. Like if you live out your duration, the rent may go from, in this case, for one person, it's 38, 32. It may go from that to say 4,000 or 4,500 a month. But that delta doesn't come from you. It comes from your deposit. Um, and so it serves as a life insurance, a long-term care program. Also, which is really crazy, it gets assets off your books, which may have something to do with why they can guarantee a lifetime in there. Because I mean, I'm getting $337,000 assets off my ledger essentially. Okay, so let's talk about the monthly rent. The monthly rent for one person is 38.32. I looked it up. If you add another person living with you, it's like another, I think, $1,400 a month. So the rent is like four and change a month. With that, you don't have to pay utilities. You don't have to pay, um, uh, all that good stuff. I think you do have to pay cable, and there may or may not be an extra fee for this for meals, but it wouldn't rock my boat either. I swear this includes one meal. But well, here, let's look. Let's look real quick. 90% monthly service. What does it include in the monthly service package? Okay, here we go. Monthly service package. All utilities, heating, air conditioning. Oh, yeah, there we go. Meal plan at our on-site restaurant. So the meal plan is basically one meal a day that you get. It's hilarious. My daughter says it's not one meal a day. You get a credit for one meal. So theoretically, if you had 3 credits on the last day, you could go eat 3 meals there. I think they only offer lunch and dinner. But so maintenance, home repairs. They have a fitness center, 24-hour security, professional landscaping, and property taxes. Okay, so this is sweet to me. And I'm going to tell you a couple things it offers they don't even talk about. So with my dad, well, my wife's dad, um, even when he was in great shape, we went there to visit him. And so it was awesome for my kids when he started deteriorating. And like I said, it wasn't long before he fell and something happened. But it when he was moved to additional care, guess what? All the kids still went to the same spot. We didn't have to go somewhere different. It was right there. He wasn't. What's funny, his whole life he was crazy social, but he wasn't as social as Cedar Crest. And that's not because there aren't facilities. There's tons of clubs, tons of things to do. Um, but I was thinking too, from a friend's perspective, like if you go there and you make it a point to build friendships, then you have this whole group of people that cares about you. And when you go into long-term care, it's not like you're moving and leaving because he still had his facilities. He was just having some issues. It was, if you make a friendship base there, people are right there and they can actually get to your place without, without like getting in a car, and Lord knows at that age you don't want them in cars and seeing you. So there's just a ton of stuff going on in this thing. Just looking at my list to make sure I got it all covered. Got it all covered. And what was so cool is I saw this work out in front of me in real life. So let's talk about real quick how I modeled this in Bolden. Okay, so the first thing you have to model, right, is selling your house because that's what I'm doing. I'm selling my house to provide for the deposit, which is so important. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. It's like you just have to have assets when you retire. Like I feel bad. My friend, his mom's, they still had a mortgage and they retired. So when they needed help and stuff, they went to sell the house. They still had a mortgage on it, so they didn't collect as much. But if you have your house completely paid off and everything's good, you have an asset. Some people also choose to use a reverse mortgage to finance kind of like a long-term disability plan, um, so that what's the word I'm looking for? So that you can stay in the same place, so that you're comfortable. I still think you should go to something. I'm going to go to a facility like this. So theoretically, I've heard this mentioned before too. Um, you and your spouse are there. Let's just say, I mean, in my case, I'm more likely to go down first. So I go down first. Oops. My wife takes care of me, and she's able to pretty much take care of me. And probably in the plan, there's probably enough money for a helper to come in a few days a week to take care of her. I die, and then she could go into a facility. But if she didn't want to, she could do like a reverse mortgage. She could even potentially do a reverse mortgage to help me in my long-term care. But then she's screwed because then when she needs long-term care and needs to sell the house, I don't know if she'll get as much. She would have that reverse mortgage on it. So I don't know. I don't know. There's quite a few people that recommend reverse mortgages that I trust. You do what you have to, but that's just not my plan. But things change. So if you go to home and real estate, the first thing you have to do is you have to model a cell, which is really easy. So you'll see I have a cell. I give it my current um, I give it my current balance somewhere. I don't know why it's maybe if I hit edit cell. Where does it put somewhere in here it says that I think I have my house currently valued at $725,000. Yeah, so I don't know where I keep. Oh, because it's my primary residence. That's why. When I put my primary residence in, I had to put the value in. So this is my primary residence. For any of you who are interested, we paid like 241 for it, and then I built. Well, I didn't build. I paid somebody. Obviously, I have a good friend of mine who's a contractor. We put 2 bedrooms above the garage. We did the siding, the roof. We've been in the same house for like. Let's see. Dylan is my second son is 26, so we've been in this house roughly 26 years. I mean, we did a lot of work to it. There was a lot going on to make this happen. Um, so this is what my current house looks like. It's valued if you go to Zillow and you close this guy. It's valued at 720,000. It's worth more than that, but and this is what it looked like first before we did the siding and stuff. But Zillow's weird. It picks up my house from the next door neighbor's house because it took a more recent picture of them. And so that's how this looks green. This was the old way, and what I just showed you was the new. Okay, so in my house is valued at roughly 725,000. So if you want to what's sort of model a sell rent. So I'm going to do a sell rent. So we'll just edit that just in case. See what. I mean, it's easy to put in. What age? You'll see I'm going, I put it at 77. That's going to be my move. So on full disclosure, I have a plan to move to a lake house in between, but I noticed I just got annoyed. Even Right Capital was screwy at this. It models it really weird, takes out all these like taxes and seller fees. And I bought and sold my first house on my own. So, I don't know what I'll do with this one, but I'm not modeling that in between lake house. It will probably go to in maybe 7 years. I don't know. Depends on, I love my neighbors and everything. So I don't want to leave yet. But you'll see. So it's saying, hey, what's my estimated house value in 2044? 1.6 million. Kind of sad, really. But so it's going to ask for me where am I putting the money from the proceeds? So I'm just putting it in savings. It's going to go somewhere else, but for now that's fine. That probably impacts the amount of money I make on it. I could probably do even better if I put it in like an IRA Roth or something like that. But for now, just put it in savings. The rent is 4,800 because this is that extra amount I was telling you about. Yeah, it's 3,800. It's like another 1,200. So just pop it at 5. We'll just change this while I'm sitting here. But see, even this, I mean, I'm going to have to figure out a way are they inflationing that properly? So that is basically I'm doing the sell. So what's it going to do? It's going to take all those proceeds. It's going to stick them into savings. But that doesn't really help me, right? And it's also going to model the rent. And it did do that. I went out and looked. And what it does is so for the rent piece, I'll just show you. Because it's asked you, what are you going to do? Say, oh, I'm going to rent. And it's going to be $5,000 a month. So what it does, I got to hurry through this. I wanted to finish this a little quicker. What it does is it inserts for you. Because my first question was, is it doing it right? Because I'm always struggling with, is it doing the details and stuff? So I went to reoccurring expenses, and we'll go through this one day too. I've been meaning to go through my budget again anyway, to be honest with you. Not me personally, but with everyone. So you'll see what it did is it enters a read-only future rent at 500 in today's dollars. So I'm assuming it models that out. I could probably look that up, but I don't have time today. So I'm going to close the details. So now I know. So now what I have to do though is what it hasn't modeled is the down payment that I'm going to have to do, which according to this was $337,000. So that's an expense to me. It really should be a one-time expense, but I'll probably change that. But what I did is I put it in a recurring expenses once. And I'll show you what that is. It should be home related. Here we go. This is or no, not rent, the down payment. So this is the Cedar Crest down payment, and I have it for 315. It must have changed. So we'll go up to 337, which really shouldn't hurt anything. And this is actually one of the things I really do like about Bolden. I like that I can be in this and just do like annually, quarterly. I don't have to do any special goals or anything like that. I can just do it right here. So we'll go to return to plan. And so now that's in the model. Now, if you want to see it like normally, what I would say, this is what I always say, right? Go to retirement, cash flows. So I guess you can kind of go here. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna be complaining a bit. It's a great software, not bashing them. But I haven't seen one that allows drill down except for Right Capital yet. So you'll see this is where it all happens, right? I'm 77, my spouse is 79. So you'll see primary home sale. They're giving me $997,000 for my primary home sale. General reoccurring expenses goes way up. See, the orange bar is so much bigger. And that's because of my 330 or whatever it was that I had to put down for my Cedar Crest deposit. So that's where you see it in this tab. Oh, so painful. I mean, it's great. Not, like I said, I'm not hammering it. I got used to doing things a certain way. So that is my idea for long-term care. The cool thing is I was skeptical. When Best Dad first did this, I was like, is this really going to work? Are they really going to do what they say? I was just really skeptical. And I saw it play out. And just the benefits I thought were great. Like I said, where else am I going to get life insurance? Because if I die up there, and my wife's not around, it goes to my kids. Where else am I going to get long-term care insurance? I'm also going to get a place to live. I'm going to get a meal once a day. I'm going to come up with the rent. And I think generally I don't need to. But I think in general, by the time you hit that, if you have no expenses and you've just paid off your house or sold your house, you could probably use what the revenue from your house to pay the rent, for however many years. And so between that and Social Security, and that's basically what my father-in-law did. Um, I mean, I wasn't into his finances too much, but I did see that whole thing play out. So again, thanks for watching. A big thanks for all the subscribers out there. It's just great. And I appreciate all you guys. And I hope that this stuff I'm doing has value for you because I'm living it. I'm living it right before your very eyes. So have a great day. Talk to you later.